Hi everyone. Hope everybody's doing good. Hey Stone River, Lundy, Grayson. See who else shows up. Boy, I just got home 10 minutes ago, 12 minutes ago. Got called on 3 storms this afternoon since like 3 o'clock. Got 2.5 of them, but I'll give an update in a little bit. It's crazy. Got a little wet. I got the last one. I got dead through a thunderstorm, but the box was still at the house where I had to go. I clean my glasses a little bit. Hey, Mike and Jonathan. Turn on my YouTube. Give me a second. So give me a second. Seems like it didn't pop up for me like it normally does. Yeah, that's crazy. All right. So we got 15. Got 15 of us. All right. And then we put the link up. Oh, come on, mouse. Oh, my YouTube's all messing up. Won't let me scroll to the top of the page. That's weird. All right. Where's those 3 dots? Man. Well, I'll cut it, paste it in first. So if anybody wants to jump on with me. And I want to pin it to the top. Mm-hmm. Timestamp, no. Man, I need help again. I'm back. Hit the wrong thing. Oh, all right. Well, I'll pin it when I get a chance. I thought those were the dots. Oh, I have to write this down next time. All right. So what I did, I put 3 of my, I don't know if you saw my YouTube, but I do, hi DC, I do totes, 19-gallon totes. I have dark blue, green, and light blue totes that I gathered up the last 2 or 3 years. And I have 11 of them, or 10, 11 of them, I think. At my brother's farm out in Indiana, he's got a huge barn. It used to be one of those tobacco barns. And he built a little driving range off of it that's about 7.5 to 8 feet off the ground. and a little platform that you could hit a driver off of, hitting into his old tobacco field. And he's got a 10-foot garage door there that you could open up to go in and out. So 10 by 10 garage door. So I put a trap. So I put 3 traps there against that garage door. I put one trap, it was a dark blue one, that had the entrance of the tote, traditional of a Lanstroth bottom board, in line with the frames. Then on the left side of the garage, I put it right in the corners, facing out the entrances. I put the another one that was a light blue tote, medium sky blue basically. And then in the center, I put one what I call my Lanstroth 2.0, where the entrance is parallel to the frames, and that was a green tote. And I put that in the center between the other two. So there was approximately 3 feet, 3.5 feet between each box. Well, my brother told me a couple of days ago that was getting all 3 boxes were getting a lot of scalp bees, and earlier this week, I guess what day was it? Thursday, last week Thursday. So he texted me Thursday saying there's a lot of scouts. Well, swarm came in. Guess what box they picked out of the 3 boxes? The green one with the entrance in the 2.0 method. So they turned down the other 2 and picked that one. So that was actually a big swarm. It holds 9 frames, and all 9 frames was full of bees, and all 4 insides were also packed with bees. So it was like a 12 frame swarm. I'm guessing 8 to 9 pounds of bees. So, hey Nancy. Hey Nancy, I don't know how to pin it to the top again. I don't have those dots on my YouTube this time. So I'm trying to figure out how to pin it. Man. Yeah, Nancy.
Hey, all right. So let's see here. Are you on YouTube?
Yeah, I got that up.
Here. So on the front, so when you so click on the here. Go all the way up to where StreamYard.com. See all the way listed? I see it.
All the way up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or on the. Okay. Oh.
Did you find it?
No.
You posted it. It's there. I see it. StreamYard.com. Right? It doesn't have a timestamp, so I can't tell you what time you did it.
But it's on the YouTube, right?
Yeah. You sure you're on the YouTube side, not StreamYard?
Yeah, I'm on the YouTube. I got YouTube up.
All right. Well, then you should be able to see 3 little dots to the right.
Like above, like where my boxes are. I don't have the 3 dots.
In the actual
Picture. Image.
No, on the post.
Oh.
In the comments.
I got them at the top. but it's got community participants, timestamp reactions.
Why don't you do this? Go back over to your StreamYard and get your address. You know, get the little.
Yeah, I copied it once.
And then do that again, and then you should see the three little dots to the right, and then you right click on the three little dots. It'll say pin to top. There you go. Okay.
Ah, wait, no, delete.
No. See on your post, you should see the three little dots, and then right click.
It's not coming up. Ah, I got it. It came up this time.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.
It wouldn't show up. That's weird. It wouldn't show up. So I tried it a few times. Oh, all right. There's Philip.
What the heck's going on in there, man?
Oh, I've been busy. So busy. I left the house around 2 o'clock and I got home at 10 to 8.
Oh man.
Eastern time when this started. So I didn't even get a chance to eat dinner. I got a call to go to Norwood, which is a city within the city of Cincinnati, the city of Norwood, and got a pretty big swarm that was they're all blending together. That swarm was in a tree about 8 feet up. So I used my basket and shook them into a box, probably about 6 to 7 frames of bees. I got home, got them in my 10 frame, got a call to go up to the north central part of Cincinnati for a big swarm. And I got a picture of it. It was a pretty big swarm. But as I was heading to that, I was about, 5 minutes into my 20-minute drive. I get a call from my friend saying there's a swarm in Price Hill, which is about another 20 minutes away. And this one was a swarm trying to get into somebody's house. So she asked me if I had a bee vac, and I did. So I got it there, sucked those bees out. I'm pretty sure I got the queen. So then after I left that, I went up to the north side of Cincinnati to get another swarm. But of course, it started storming. And hail came down a little bit, pea-sized hail, but I got the box set up. I got 1/3 of the swarm in. I put a stick that I found, and cracked the lid so the rest of them can go in tomorrow. And I drove home and started this adventure.
4 swarms in one day you're dealing with.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
3 swarms.
3, okay.
So when I got home at about 12 to 8, I got the one in the vacuum in my bee vac. So I got a nuke out and dumped them in real quick, shut the lid because it was raining, and then came in here and fired this up. It's pretty crazy. So I don't know if you heard my little story. I had 3 totes right next to each other, 3 feet apart. 2 of them with the traditional Lanstroth entrance where you go in line with the frames. One of them where the entrance is perpendicular to the frames, and the bees chose that one.
Perpendicular?
Yep.
That's cool.
And all 3 boxes were set up, 99% identical. The only difference was the color of the totes. Dark blue, green, and sky blue.
Which one did they go in?
What's that now?
Which color did they pick?
They picked the green.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You've been talking about blue for a while.
And that was the center box. So there's a box on the left and the right, and they passed those out.
Mm-hmm. Now you got to put them out and rearrange them a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah, I want to go back down there sometime next week and put it in either the left or the right side.
Yeah, my swarm traps the entrance is on the warm side, but I don't know that I thought anything about it when I did it. I just did it.
Yeah, I saw all your traps on the warm side.
But
So,
I'll tell you what's cool about I had those extra deep frames I call Texas Deeps in one of
Yeah.
those swarm traps all through the winter. And I had the entrance in my swarm traps. I use the bottom entrance, but in that hive in the winter, so the critters wouldn't bother it, I let them use the top entrance. So when I got ready to move those frames into a regular box this spring, that first frame, when I pulled it out, it had this really cool hole through the first frame because I used foundationless.
Yeah.
It had this really cool hole. It was about 2 inches in diameter.
Wow.
Really neat looking through that first frame so it could get into the center of the hive.
Yeah, bees do that a lot. They put a hole, maybe not quite that big, but
Yeah, this
usually
one was pretty
usually
big.
like half inch to an inch.
We still see it when we inspect that colony and always comment on it. That there's that hole. They haven't even filled it up yet, even though it's
Right.
moved into a regular colony.
No, they'll probably leave it open.
They might.
But if you buy 21st Bee comes in here, he puts a hole. He's got to send a hole on his frames
Yeah, he does.
and the corners.
I wonder how often they live. I tell you what, I use those foundationless frames so much that when I stick a plastic frame in the middle of my hive, it just like didn't feel right. Like I'm doing something wrong. It's like
Yeah,
I'm putting throwing a wall up or something in there.
I probably use 90%, found the plastic or plastic foundation versus just give them a starter strip.
Yeah, I transferred a bunch of those swarms. It was Sunday, and man, it's amazing how those bees can draw that comb out and lay it up.
Yeah,
It's like, man, you just get your regular hives to act like that. You'd be killing it.
well, I gave my first swarm 7 frames to build out. I gave them two and a half frames to comb, and the rest of them they can build. The nuke, I think it's got two. I think it's got 2 frames that they can build out. I just threw them in there so fast. Plus, it was raining pretty hard, so I just opened the lid, dumped them in, and shut the lid.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm up to 11 called swarms. So.
Wow, I have 3 of them in my yard, but I've caught 5. One I caught in the trap. I took 3 today. One I caught in the trap. And a friend called me last week that he was working, and his brother-in-law that he knows had a swarm in their backyard. And it was just 10 minutes from my house. So he called me and said, "Tom, can you get this swarm for me?" So I got the swarm for him. Then he came over and picked it up. In fact, he still has my box. All right, now I got Nancy. Sorry, Nancy.
That's okay.
I don't know how long you're waiting.
Oh no, I was only waiting 2 seconds. Philip,
Okay.
they're talking. The chat's talking about your echo on your
I
camera.
got an echo?
No, Philip.
It's got to be coming from Tom's side because I'm on my phone and YouTube. When you go on the phone to StreamYard, it shuts off YouTube and opens StreamYard. It doesn't leave YouTube open.
On your phone. Oh, Tom, do you have the volume up on YouTube still?
I got it muted though. No, I got it muted. Let me shut it down.
That's the yeah, it's muted. Then it's the user's end. It's not.
Is
It's
it
not you
better?
guys. Well, I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's you guys. Then if
well, I heard an echo from me when I first started. I don't hear it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't hear
now
one.
Joey's saying there's no echo. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So I don't know what you were talking about while I was trying to get in here, but I bought packages. The last couple. When did I get them? On Monday. I brought packages home, and I went to check the one queen, and they killed her. They chewed through the candy, you know, in the cage. I haven't bought packages in 8 years, so I don't know what I'm doing. But I put the little cage, you know, between the frames.
Yeah.
And the one I checked, they killed. The one they got through, they killed her.
They killed her in the cage, in the
Yep.
box.
Yes. And it
Wow.
was, yeah, and it's only the package. Like there was nothing in that box before. You know
So
what I mean?
you know that she was alive when you put her in there?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
Because
That
I
is-
was taking them out of that cage and marking them and clipping them. And then one got away from me and I can't find it. I mean, this package, I'll tell you, man, it's just weird stuff. Like the one wouldn't go into the hive, like the hive body, you know. I put the queen in there, I clipped her, I marked her, I put her in. They would not go in that box. They wanted to go in a different box. So they all went into one box. Then I couldn't find the queen I clipped and marked, and they all went back to that box. It's just stuff's going on that I am not familiar with. So what do I do?
Hmm.
Um,
Don't buy any packages.
yeah.
I know. I just
If I was you, I would go into one of your other hives and take a frame of eggs and put it in there.
Did you?
Let them make a queen.
Yeah.
uh,
But
I do have a couple. Go ahead, Philip.
it's kind of hindsight, but did you spray the bees down with sugar water? I've seen a lot of people do
Yes.
that.
Yep. Yep. I sprayed the queen. I sprayed the bees. I sprayed everything. Just because
Yeah.
I'm bringing in stuff that was bouncing around on a truck and then bounced around in my car, and I just just to settle them down, you know. Let's see. I don't hear anything. Oh, Keith Spillman, he's funny. I can't get my 4 colleagues speaking the next month. Okay. Does anybody say anything in here? No. But so I don't know. I mean,
Yeah. Most of the time, they'll let the queen out, and when she lays a few eggs, then they'll kill her. So
Right.
they can make queen cells
oh,
or supersede her
oh,
if they
yeah.
don't like the queen. But
They didn't even let
they
her out
must
of the
have
cage.
really not liked the queen.
Yeah,
Or my guess, the queen had an issue. Was missing a leg or something.
I don't think aesthetically. I don't think the bees recognize aesthetics. I mean, a front leg maybe, but I don't think they recognize. Because I clip my wings, and I mark mine. They've never rejected a queen that's
Right.
aesthetically that we see as humans as being aesthetic. But so I'm well, all right. So tomorrow my plan was to go into my colonies that are strong, that are original overwintered, that are double deeps, was to put formic on tomorrow because we're going into like 5 days of rain up here, so it's a great time for formic. But
Right.
so I guess what you're saying is I better pull frames of eggs out of those now, like put them in.
Well, no, you got 2 weeks because it takes 2 weeks for them to get into laying worker. The
Yeah,
bees.
I'm not worried about laying workers. That's a real rare. I've had it one time in my whole 8 years. I had one hive, so
Right.
I'm not worried about laying workers.
Well, that package has no way to make a queen. So the only
Well,
way
the
they're
other
gonna make a queen is you give them an egg, give them eggs.
right. Well, so that one, yes. So I had, okay. So that particular colony, what I did with it was I had another queen in a 5-frame box with a package. Was that a
Okay.
package? Wait. No, I created a split. That's right. So I created a split in the 5-frame. I put the caged queen in there. And then I took that 5-frame and put it on top of the package that killed the queen. So the 5 frame is on top of an 8 frame. You know, I have a board that's cut out to hold the 5 frame, and then a queen excluder, and then I have a queen in a cage and eggs, larva, and brood in the 5 frame. The 8 frame only has that queenless package.
Okay.
So
Hey,
that one,
Chris. I want to say hi to Chris at Drop Time. Your health is going good?
Hey, Chris.
Everything good? Because I know you had some issues.
oh, I don't see Chris.
Yeah, Drop Time Farms.
Oh, hi, DC. Oh, drop time. I don't even know who that. I don't even know
Yeah,
who that is.
he doesn't. Hey, Jerry, he doesn't get on that often.
I've been yawning a lot. Hey, Chris, I realized that I forgot to send you those earrings, but they're going out. I were supposed to go out yesterday, but my son is as bad as me about remembering stuff. But he won those earrings on Gunline B's show, I think, like over a week ago.
Yeah, I don't know. The guy I got them off of. The guy I got the packages off of taught me beekeeping.
Hey, I'm going to post this comment. DC said a queen without a leg is still a queen with a leg without a queen. A queen missing a leg will not lay eggs. She uses her legs
Front legs.
to measure the
Yeah,
size of the hole.
yeah,
So
her
if
front legs.
she's missing a leg, she's a dud.
Yeah, her front legs. So when I
The
clip,
front legs, yeah.
right, when I clip queens, they always want to put their back leg up. So
Yeah.
so clipping like getting I don't think I've ever done it, but if you clip her back leg, because she's always trying to get that back leg up to get herself free of my fingers when I'm clipping her. But it's never the front leg. Like the front legs are nowhere near, like they're under your fingers when you go to clip her wings. It's a back leg that you might
Right,
get.
but if they're missing those front legs,
yeah, then she
that's a
doesn't know
picture.
what's yeah.
So DC also said something that could have something to do with your queen issues, is that some of these package producers will go out too early in the morning and start shaking bees, and they'll get a bunch of old bees in the package.
Yeah.
And those will be likely to kill the queen.
Yeah, that's the only thing that had to be left, because most of the time they'll let the queen out, at least lay a couple eggs before they kill her. And
Yeah.
I would think, my guess, that's probably 30% of all packages get weak-queened.
So her queen pheromone production to lower due to caging. I don't know what there's different thoughts on that. I don't know what the real science is, DC, on pheromones reduce the queens.
I know they'll shrink down if they don't lay.
Yeah, over winter. Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
do that up here.
Well, even if you buy, the only 2 queens I ever bought, one of them was scrawny, and I thought there was something wrong with it, so I put them in. I think I made the splits like a day or day and a half before. One of them they killed immediately, and the other one they accepted, the scrawny one. But in like a week or two, I went and looked at it, and she was massive.
Yeah.
She grew a lot.
I sometimes bank a queen for a couple days, and you'd be surprised how fast they shrink down once they stop laying.
Yeah, so I don't know. I forget what the rule of thumb is on how long to cage a queen, but I think that they've exceeded. You know, the books will tell you a number, but I think the queens have exceeded that in real life.
Did you get the package like super local? Because I think if they were just put together like the day before, then I could see them killing her because they hadn't had time to adjust.
Well, they came up from Georgia, so they were put on the truck north on Friday. I picked them up on Monday, and they were trying to make comb on the cans, you know, the feed cans that are in there.
That's probably long enough to get used to her smell.
Yeah, I don't.
But it takes them 2 days to 3 days to eat that candy. if they had a good supply of candy in it. So they should have gotten used to her by then.
Well, no, it was one day. I dropped them in on Monday. What's today? Tuesday? I dropped them in yesterday, and I went and checked. I have a mentee that comes over, so she's like, it's fun, So otherwise, I wouldn't have even checked, but we checked it, and then she was dead in less than 24 hours. They got into her, killed her.
So they didn't pack the candy significantly enough then, because it should take them at least 2 days, maybe 3.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I see. Well, the other ones, then we got to, so we checked the others, and they all were still alive and still in their cages alive. So maybe it's just a dud, maybe it's just a.
Yeah, sometimes if the packages are old, the 4 or 7 bees, worker bees that are in with the queen will eat a lot of that plug away.
So I guess what I'll do tomorrow then, let me recap this just so I put it in my memory. I guess what I'll do then is I have 5 packages. So I'll pull 5 frames with fresh eggs before I put the formic on. Right?
Yeah.
So
1 frame
for each 5, but I need 5. Right, I need 5. I need 1 frame and 5 different.
Oh, you're just trying to give them a quick start, or the one you got to requeen, you just need the one.
Yeah.
No. I bought 5 packages, so I have 5 8-frame boxes out there that I need to put 1 frame of eggs in.
Is that just because you're trying to make sure they stay there, not fly away?
No, I'm afraid that they're going to kill the other queens, and then and I can't go get more eggs because they all have formic on them. You know what I'm saying? Once you put formic on, you can't disturb them for at least 7 days. You can't go in pulling frames out of eggs.
So, are you that far away from your honey flow that you can put formic on?
Oh, I know. I'm about a week, 12 days from my honey flow. Yeah, Joey, I did check for another queen. I did check to see if there was maybe a virgin queen running around in there, and there was not.
I might have shook one in there.
Joey, yeah. But no, I'm about 12 days from my flow. Why?
Well, I thought formic was a longer treatment than that.
It's 14 days.
Oh, can you use formic with honey supers on?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
All right.
Sure. Yeah, it's an organic treatment.
Gotcha.
What did
DC asked if you can buy packages without queens, and the answer is yes. You can buy bulk bees.
Yeah, I never heard of that. So you mentioned that last week, Tom. I never heard of it.
Bill did that. Bill did that.
It's not real popular, and there's not many people that do it, but there are people out there who will sell you just bees. In the same type of package, just no queen.
Yeah. Yeah, I looked for the queen, Joey. There was no other queen because that was my one thought that, All right, so then that's what I got to do tomorrow. Just pull a frame of eggs for everybody, all the packages, just in case.
That'd be safe.
Yeah.
And it'll help boost them a little bit too.
Yeah.
It's a good practice to put 1 frame of brood.
That. You know what?
Packages.
I should have done that straight away. When I put those packages in, I should have had a frame. I didn't think of it.
Yeah. I work with a guy, a commercial beekeeper up in northern Ohio, to sell packages around the greater Cincinnati area. And I help him distribute them out when he drives up from Georgia, stops in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
And we always tell the people to pick up the packages that they're existing beekeepers to put a frame of brood in with them. Help burst them, help them
Did not-
stay. It's just a
every-
good practice.
Right, and I do that with swarms. Like every time I catch a swarm, I'll be sure to put a fresh eggs in, and that keeps them anchored. But I just didn't think of it with the because I'm putting a queen in with the yeah.
Right. I didn't get to do that with my first swarm because as soon as I got I got called while I was just getting done getting the bees in the box, in the 10 frame.
Yeah.
Then I got called and I just threw the lid on real quick and let them go.
Well,
So they were all going in and out. Well, they were kind of going in and out, but it was raining pretty hard. We had 2 good storms today with pea-sized hail.
Ooh.
We're supposed to get more, like all the way through Friday.
So
4 days of rain.
Tom, how do you get those swarm calls?
There is a good friend of mine that's called Save Your Bees that lives on the east side of Cincinnati, and I got to know her about 5 or 6 years ago, and she's got a pretty big web throughout the greater Cincinnati area for them to call her, and then she calls me for a little
You
web.
just get put on a list.
Yeah, I'm on a list.
We have clubs up here that have lists, and then you get so I'm not on any of those lists because I don't want to go climb a ladder or get up on a roof or like I don't want to do any of that stuff.
So
I don't do that kind of stuff.
Tom's on a list of 1. It sounds like he got 3 of them in one day.
Well, first call came from the Hamilton County Police Department. They called the police department, and somehow they had my phone number. So my son works for Hamilton County.
Your picture's probably on the wall there. I know.
So I got a feeling somebody at Hamilton County knows me. So they had them call. They had this couple call me to go get him.
You mean the picture where he's got those little numbers underneath?
Yeah, like the one at the post office.
So then my friend Save the Bees called me, and that's the one I went to get. But the other one, another beekeeper that I mentor, does cutouts now. So he was at a cutout, and today when he was at the cutout, a swarm flew in and landed on the fence of the house he's doing the cutout.
Oh my goodness! You gotta put traps there at that property for sure.
Well, he told me he's out of equipment. He can't handle any more bees. So he called me because Tom, here's a big swarm. It's a 10 framer. So bring your 10 frame box.
Yeah.
And of course, when I get there, it's storming, big time storming.
There's a guy in here in Texas that he somehow has convinced like people that run golf courses to pay him to hang swarm traps around the golf course.
Nice.
Wow.
That's a heck of a deal right there.
That's a good gig.
Jeez.
I picked up my second pollination contract today.
Oh yay! Oh good.
It's kind of a half contract because my first one is some friends of mine that I went to college with, and they were hiring a big beekeeper to have bees on their property. And when I told them that I would do it, I'd probably do it a little bit cheaper. I don't know, but they wanted me to put bees on there. And then when I did, then the neighbor just right across the fence, she has a couple of cows on her property and she's tired of the cows. So she decided she wanted to put bees. So what I did was I told her, I said, well, what if you'll let me put these bees where I can get, if you'll put a gate here with their fence where I can just pull up on their drive and work the bees. I don't have to go out and open another couple of gates and drive back in and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
I said, if you'll do that, I'll price it as though all y'all's hives are one contract, but I'll still write it up as 2 contracts, which saves, it's saving both of them like $1,000 a year. So
you gave her a convenience discount.
Yes. And it's good for me too, because my contract goes from like 3,000 to like 4,000 and something. and I'm going there anyway.
I never got that second corporate. I had a second corporate that I was working on since February, and legal shut it down. It got all the way to legal, which is usually the last step, and they shot it down because they're just
Liability.
not. It's educate. They just don't have the education. The legal
Well,
department.
legal is all about telling you what you can't do.
Yeah, well, right, and they don't understand that, like, bees, what? They sting people. No, and that's it. Like, once legal shuts you down, just don't even bother. You ain't getting
Well,
past
I
them.
think that's what happened to me on that deal with the pharmaceutical company. I think that
Yep.
when I sent them a proposal, they sent it to their legal department, and they went, "What the heck are you doing?"
Yeah, absolutely not. Yep. So I didn't get that second corporate gig, but you know what? It's okay. I'm rebuilding my yard. I need my attention here at the house anyway. So
Mhm.
Right. I think my first swarm probably came from the Cincinnati Zoo. So I'm going to keep an eye on that swarm. Because that'll have really good genetics. It was about a half mile. The house it was in a pretty huge subdivision area, and a half mile from the house is a zoo. And I know they run 8 to 10 hives. And
Oh, wait a minute. Cincinnati Zoo. Isn't that the one with the hippo?
yeah,
Fiona?
yep.
Oh.
You
So
know,
I went right by the zoo today. I was pretty close to it.
Yeah, they have Fiona, and then they have the porcupine with the big pink squishy nose. Okay. I like the other animals too.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice zoo. So yeah, well, they asked me to be their beekeeper a year ago, but I told them no way.
How come I only see
No thanks.
DC's comments? Is anybody else commenting, or is it just DC?
BC mostly.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, why am I only seeing DC's? Collecting honeybee venom. So there's this like contraption, DC, that sits on the front porch of your colony, and it zaps the bees. It doesn't kill them, it doesn't hurt them, but it zaps them so that they sting, and they keep their stingers. Hi, Randy.
Hey, Randy.
They keep their it zaps them just a little to shoot out some venom, and then they collect it. But that's how they collect venom, and then they also collect. Well,
Well,
they get.
I saw a video where they used a mirror and they uh, made it vibrate, and the bees didn't like that, so they would try to sting it. They get venom all over it and it would dry.
Okay, so maybe there's some contraption. I wasn't sure how.
It is electronic, but I don't think it delivers a shock. I think it vibrates like those old school football games. You know, we used to have with the little man that.
So it's a okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the thing did to the bee. It did something to make them.
And then it sells for a ridiculous amount of money, but you have to scrape it off with a razor blade. So it's like cocaine or something, you know. Do a snort of that and see what happens to you.
They can make that venom. The scientists can make it.
Really?
Yeah,
Who's
I read that
wait,
once.
Castle Hives? Who's that I see? Castle Hives?
Hey, Brian.
They use that venom.
Tonight.
They use that venom in the cosmetics industry a lot.
Yes.
They make stuff that makes it's like Botox almost, but in the cream they put it in.
Makes your lips pucker.
Makes your face relax or puff up so your wrinkles go away.
And they use what's the other one? The Queen Royal Jelly. I know there was a guy, and they were using it in a cream to kill mites on your eyelashes. So Yeah, old people get mites on their eyelashes, and they were using this royal jelly in the cream, and it was it was killing the mites in the eyelashes of people. How about that?
And why don't you just wash your face?
It's not, I don't think it's,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's all good stuff. So, yeah, so I'm fasting tonight.
are you?
Well, I got home at 12 minutes till 8.
Well, go get
Going
something
after
to
those 3 swarms. So I didn't have
go,
a chance to eat.
go get something to eat. Philip and I'll hold down the fort.
Well, that's all right. I'm good.
Yeah.
It's always good not to eat sometimes.
I'm on my phone, so I need to see if I can look over at the chats. See what DC's saying.
Yeah, it's just DC.
Well, there's Queen Bee.
No,
Hey,
Brian's
Queen
on. Spillman said something.
Bee,
Tar Heel's on. Randy's on.
go grab a snack. I had a couple cookies.
So,
Oh, there's Matt. Hey,
Hey,
Matt.
Matt.
yeah, we tried grafting for the third time today.
Oh,
I
jeez.
say we. When I say we, I mean Noah tried grafting.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
We just stuck them in there. Well,
I have 21 of my 22 cells emerged out the last 27th, 28th, Sunday, Monday. The third one I had in a small 2-frame hive, and I took it out because I put one of the live queens in there. And I guess it's still good. I cracked it open to see if it was still good, and it's still good. So she might be emerged out now. Either tonight or tomorrow she'll come out. So I'll be 22 for 22.
that's
Hi,
good.
John. John's on and Hallelujah's on.
Hey, Pastor Larry and Jan, Miss Jan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I just made 20 splits.
Wow.
Yeah, he grafted 30 cells today. I don't know if the builder's strong enough for that, but that's what we grafted into.
What are you going to do with all those queens, Philip? Or Tom? What do you do with all those queens?
Well, yeah, ask Tom because I got to get them before I got to go with that.
12. I got a bunch of little 12-frame nukes that they're going in.
You mean 4x?
6/6.
Okay.
Oh.
And then they're going to go in there for the meantime. Then I'm going to still brood from them and then overwinter them and then sell them as nukes next year.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do something similar to that. Just get them mated and see what I can make some really small nukes and just nurse them through the summer.
Right. They're starting out as 2 frames.
I'm not counting on them for anything. We grafted the first time and I'd messed up and I'd given them some options, and so that they only took one of them. So then we went in and knocked down all the queen cells and grafted again, and that time we got like 23 out of 20, not 23, probably 21 out of 28. Probably would have been better if I hadn't only gotten 5 out of 10 of mine. But and then like 3 days, we checked them after 2 days. They had started that many, and then we checked them after 5 days, and they had torn everything down. So we're like, oh boy, there must be a virgin running around in here. So we tore the thing apart, shook the bees out. Then I realized when we were shaking them out, there was a little gap there where the queen excluder was. So we took them like 30 feet away and shook them out in front of the hive and let them crawl in under a queen excluder, through a queen excluder. Never did find the virgin. So I said, well, I don't know anything to do but put a frame with eggs in there and see if they draw cells on it. So we did, and they did. They drew cells, and we actually used a couple of those cells to take care of a couple of our queenless nukes that didn't get back mated. But we put those out this morning, and I mean they didn't just draw a few cells; they drew like 15 cells on that thing. They were so desperate. So I'm like, okay, maybe that virgin's gone now. So we
when you make up your cell builder, brood is not that important in your cell builder. The two important frames is your pollen frames. So you put your graft between two pollen frames.
Yeah, I had messed up and put in like 4 frames of cat brood at the last second, thinking I was boosting them.
Right.
But now today when we put it in there, it's like, well, there's probably not a virgin in here because there's not a handful of cells in there that aren't full of nectar now because we've been fooling with this thing for a month. They had nowhere to put the nectar.
Right.
So there's plenty of pollen in there, and so we'll see what they do with these, and hopefully we'll get these through.
Should be good. That's what I do with my 6-framer. I built my 6-frame just for grafting because I can put my graft frame in, 2 pollen, 2 brood, and 2 food with honey.
Yeah, we used a 10 frame that was already stocked with bees, but then we added bees to it. But hopefully this is it one way or the other. We're going to hopefully be able to requeen them and get a few, nukes out of the deal. But if we don't, that's fine. I'm catching enough swarms, and before we did any of this, we just took queens away and cut out cells and made a bunch of splits, and man, that was an awful experience. Partially because only about half of them came back mated, and then of those, I killed like 3 queens. So, we were like, we ended up being like 5 or 6 out of 16. It was terrible.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so glad I didn't pre-sell a bunch of nukes.
So what I'm doing with these,
sold.
what I'm going to do with these swarms, they're going to go in the boxes for now. But in a week, on the 11th, all these virgins should be mated. And I got 9 honey hives that were dead outs from this past year. So right now, all 9 of those have my 2 frames. Well, I got follow boards in there to make it a two frame split, and there's 9 hives. And I'm going then take the swarm, find the queen, move her off into a nuke, 5-frame Jester Easy nuke, and a frame of food. And I'm going to take the rest of the frames of bees and put them in the hive to build them up. Try to get them up to a 10 frame. So I might even do that to 2 of the swarms and get them big hives. We can turn them into honey hives. I'm just using the bees for the swarms.
Yeah. We did better with our walkaway splits though, because when we were getting ready to do those first splits, we just basically took every queen and moved them and turned them around and let the parent hive make their own queens. But I think we only had 2 out of like 7 that didn't come back mated.
Yeah.
Those worked out better for us.
That's pretty good odds, right?
Yeah, on the
2 out of
walkaway.
7.
Yeah, and what we did today was we went into the queen right side, pulled 3 frames of brood out of the queen right side, and stuck it in the ones that had a new queen in there to give them an instant boost. So hopefully they'll be able to make honey for us because that new queen.
Alicia.
Hey, Alicia. Now she's a hustling honey.
Forever.
She keeps changing her title.
Yeah, she's hustling.
I like
honey.
that one better.
What, hustling honey?
Yeah.
Hey, what does this guy reminds me? What's drop tine? It reminds me of half tracks. Like, what's drop tine mean? Drop tine.
Well, if you're a deer hunter, the antlers, some deer will have drop tines, which is kind of a unique thing that hunters look
Is that
for.
where that one antler thing is? It's facing down to the ground.
Yeah, the ones that hang down. Yeah.
Drop tine.
Then you got double drop tine, which there's one on each side.
Isn't a
That
drop
might
tine
be where you got it from.
one of those things that fluff up the hay before you bale it? Drop tine, isn't that it's like I didn't know what half tracks were. I'd have Keith explain that to me too. But Drop tine. Huh.
Yeah, Alicia, you better get ready to hustle some honey because your husband is definitely
Going
making
crazy.
all the splits.
Yeah. How
What's
many
this
did he say he did?
elderberry
100?
tree? Huh?
I'm not. Yeah, I only did 20. I'll be doing 21. I got one more to do tomorrow, and I'll probably steal some of the bees from one of the swarms. I won't have a brood frame unless they already are. If she's laying in one day, because she. I have to go out there after this and see if she's when I get done at 10 o'clock. See if she's see if that virgin emerged.
Hmm.
I got food for her, so she should be good for overnight. I feed them honey and water. Give them a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to order some roller cages and for these sales that we've got, just so I don't have to worry about the timing of when the virgins
Yeah,
come
well,
in.
they're in roller cages, and at the little bottom, the part that that clips out, I just put there's those little rings that go around it. I just put a drop of water in each, or honey in each one of them.
And I saw a video of a guy doing that, and he basically put the honey in there with like end of a fork or spoon. Then he wiped it off because you don't want any in that middle part. You just want it down in that groove.
Yeah, just in the groove.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, Tom, because I've been actually bugging Brian at Flower Street today about this. And Brian's such a teacher. He sent me like videos of different options I could have. So it's really nice of him. But so it seems that the JZBZ cups are kind of loose in those roller cages. What do you do about that, Tom?
I put a little tape over the top of it.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Some people use wax. I just use tape.
Okay.
Little piece of duct tape, little strip, masking tape. Yeah, because the queens will a good queen will push that thing out of the way and get out.
But they make a JZBZ or JZEZ or whatever cage that they'll fit in. But Brian told me that those don't have a flip open at the other end of them. So
yeah,
you've got to have like a syringe to get the honey and water down in there.
and as soon as the queen emerges, I pull the easy nuke and I take the rest of the open cell away because queens will go back up inside there.
What I heard,
and they'll get stuck sometimes and die.
Yeah, they'll go back to get that little bit of Trace Royal jelly, right? And they'll
if there is any.
That's what I've heard too.
Yeah. So
I'm not going to make any plans. It's if these queens make it and we get them off of here, I'm going to pull them off after 6 days to try to reduce my exposure, I guess. But
just if you do that, Philip, just be careful not to brush the bees off. Don't shake them off.
Yeah, I will.
Move them gently.
Well, some people say that they're better to handle then than they are waiting a couple of days until they go into the larval stage. When they're in that first part of that larval stage, they're really susceptible to movement.
Well, it's 6 days when they just cap them.
But 6 days, they're still a. Now, when they go into the pupal stage, when they're in the larval stage, they're still kind of floating around in some jelly.
Right.
But if you wait until I think it's like 7 and 8, or 8 and 9, those are the worst times to mess with them. According to now, we pulled a bunch of ours. That may have been why we had such bad luck. Is we pulled ours at 10 days, and they might have still been a little tender,
Right. Well, they get shaken from the top. Yeah, you have to wait to either day 6 or day 13.
Day 13, in my case, they're usually popping out.
Yeah. You got about 2 days, day 13.
Day 13 is actually the day they emerge, isn't it? Because there's 3 days of the egg, and then
It's traditionally
13 days, 16
well,
total.
it's a total days of 16 days, but yeah, day 13 they usually emerge out. So day
Like day 12 if I was going to do it.
day 10 of a larvae, when you graft them, you can move them. 'Cause that's their 13th day.
That's usually when I do it. When they're not from grafting, but from when I make a queenless split and go back and harvest cells. I usually come back 10 days later and try to get them in splits.
Yeah, 6 days or 10 days.
But yeah, we're just going to carefully take them out at 6 and
too late.
put them in the incubator. Now,
Yeah.
tell me if I'm not thinking of something, but I got this kind of pretty large honey cabinet, and I'm just going to get me a bowl and some towels and let those be sitting in water, and I'm going to put them in there and put it on about 95 degrees with a fan blowing too, and let them hatch out.
Is warm. They'll come out even faster.
Is that too? I could
I
lower that.
92.
Okay, I may run it down about 90, 92 then. I'm not in any hurry. I just want to get the best temperature.
I'd say 90 will put them close to 16 days. 91 might be a full 16 days. 93 will get them down to 15 days. 95, I don't know.
Okay.
That.
I'll do them at like 91 then. It's easy to make the adjustment.
91 and 92 is optimal. Yeah, 3. If you get up to 3, they might get done a day faster. 93, but Matt just posted 92, 93. I say 91 to 93. I've never tried 95. My incubator is plus or minus a half degree, so if I set it on 92, it's 1.5, 92.
That's a little bit of a problem with my. It's not an incubator; it's a warming cabinet. It's got a 4-degree swing on it. I don't know if I can change that on that thermostat or not.
When I just do my 20 cells, I just use one of those chicken ones.
Don't they keep
they work fine.
Don't they keep the queen at 92 or 93 in the hive? Isn't that the temperature inside the hive when they're brooding up and going nuts
most of the time, but not always. Not in the winter. Not in the cold nights.
No. I know you drop down to 72, but then when they're making queens and they're doing all their thing this time of year, so what Matt's saying, it just looks familiar. 92, 93.
Yeah,
that just looks more on target. 95, I think, would be a little too. I'm not a queen breeder. I don't do any of that kind of stuff, but I'm just looking. That looks familiar. 92, 93, and he says that's perfect.
Yeah, I just know when I put the cells into my hive versus in the incubator at day 6, they take 16 days, a full 16 days. When I put them in my incubator at 92 degrees, I get them in 15 and a half to 16 days. So I don't think they keep it at 92 degrees consistently 24/7. I think at nighttime it might drop down in 90 or 89 or whatever, and then get back up to 93 during the daytime. I don't know. Because it always seems to be whenever I put them in this. That's why the cell that hasn't come out yet was in a hive, and I took it out of the hive and put it in my incubator, and she still hasn't emerged yet. And it's been a whole day later.
Maybe she's bad.
No, I checked her yesterday and today. You can crack them open at the Easy Beasy cup and look in there and close it back up. Should be that's why I know it should be hatching like now. Emerging, I should say, not hatching.
Yeah.
She already hatched from an egg. Yeah, so that's a day and a half later because I had it in the hive versus in my incubator. I didn't want them to go. That hive didn't have I checked one of my hives and it didn't have a queen. I didn't want them to go into laying workers, so I put the cell directly into them. so that it slowed down the laying worker. But then I took it out and gave them a real queen. Man, you should have seen me. They got so excited when I gave them that queen. I let it walk in. They started fanning and everything. They looked like kids in a candy store.
That's
They were
cool.
so excited.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. It's my bedtime.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get out of here too because I'm supposed to be cleaning the kitchen and I'm not doing it.
Well,
Crack that whip. All right,
my
Tom,
wife's
you're
only
on
seen
your
me a
own.
couple times today.
You're on your own, Tom.
Somebody else come in and help Tom out. How many people
Yeah.
are on the YouTube side? I can't see it.
No, I closed
see.
you down.
Who's on here? Who's Dennis Sherrill?
Let's take Dennis
Yeah.
Cheryl. Yeah.
Cheryl. Drop Time. Dennis. You get some new faces on here. Matt. Haven't seen Matt in a while. Although, I don't go on Thursday nights I'm off. And Sunday nights I'm off. I've been missing Joey's a couple times now too, which I feel bad. Don't tell him. I've been missing Joey's.
We got 43 watching right now.
Oh, somebody can come on.
Yeah. Mike, hey Mike.
I can't believe you beat. That's a cute one. I can't believe you beat.
Yeah, that's Mike.
That's a cute one. How often do
Yeah,
we
that
say
is
that?
a good one.
We say that all the time, right?
Yeah.
How amazing they are.
Yeah.
All right, kids. I'll see you Friday night at Charlie's.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Night.
Good night.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how I put that. I let that live queen walk out of her cage, and bees got so excited. It was funny watching them. And about 15 of them started fanning. It's like, here's a queen. It was just a virgin queen. And it's like, yeah, they get excited. So our flow is going to start probably in about 3 or 4 more days because the black locust trees are going to be blooming pretty soon. I'd say within a week. And there's no danger of frost, so that's a good sign.
So I was driving to work the other day, and I looked over to my right, and I saw a tree growing up beside her. It's like a bridge. It crosses kind of a big ditch. They're like a shopping center. And I went, wait a minute, that looks like a tallow tree. I pulled in there and took a picture of it and used the Google Lens or picture this or something and confirmed it was. It had those little immature tassels that were forming on it too. And
Gotcha.
I got all excited, texted it to Joe. I got a tallow tree it's like an eighth of a mile from my house.
Right.
2 of them actually. There's one on each side of the bridge. I hope they don't come along and cut them down because they think they're weeds.
You better graft off of them, kind of branch off and graft.
Well, I tell you what I'm thinking about doing because that ditch that they're growing in comes all the way up behind my house, but about 200 or 300 yards down from my house, it's when it turns natural. They've actually paved it behind my house. So what I'm thinking about doing is going and I don't know what do they make? Do they make like seeds or do they make something that flies off? I don't know what they make to propagate. But if I could figure out when they go to seed, I'll go down there and break a branch off and come down here to closer to my house and shake a bunch of them onto the ditch bank, see if they'll take off and grow.
I want to say hi to Russell Koopman.
Hello, Russell K.
Yeah, Russell K. And I haven't seen Russell A yet. He probably doesn't know about my Tuesday. So, yeah, I did run into Randy Tarha beekeeper the other day, Saturday, this past Saturday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you knock him down?
My wife and I ran down to Tennessee to see Cayman, and he was there with Cayman.
Really?
Yeah. I bought 5 of not his nukes. I bought 5 Corey Stevens VHS Queens, made it with Chris Warner down in Florida.
Ah.
And I sold the same amount of nukes here to pay for them.
You're not that far, are you? From
It was a 4.5 hour drive.
Okay.
That dead south, basically.
Yeah. Cayman's is probably about, he's in Lebanon, right, which is just east of Nashville.
Yeah,
So,
east.
yeah, he's probably about 10 hours from me,
Gotcha.
I would guess. Because it's 14 or 15 hours over to Kentucky or over to Sevierville for me. And Nashville's about 4 hours from Sevierville, I think.
Yeah, and Chris Warner, he runs carnies, so these will be Italians / carnies.
How many did you get?
5 of them.
Okay.
So I'll be doing some testing on them to see which ones are the best ones for mites, and go from there. So I should have at least one winner with 5 of them.
Yeah. Yeah. You might want to breed from them if they do well.
Well, that's what my plan. That's my game plan. Graft from them. So that my graft I just did, those queens might get replaced this summer. Some of them. Depends on, it all depends. But I grafted from that hive, I only treated a little bit with silk acid vapor, and it came out rocking this year. So I that came from the Amish hive that swarm that I caught last year. So I know it's got good genetics. So I'm going to mix the Amish genetics in with Corey Stevens genetics.
That's good.
See what I get.
Yeah, I've heard that some people that got queens from Corey, they were turned out pretty hot. But I mean, for one thing, though, he only sells virgins, so you got to take half. Your drones have to be half of that.
Well, I got native ones because it came from he shipped them down to
Oh, so he does made it also.
He got made it with his carnies. Corey's trying to get some dark VHS queens because all his are Italians.
Uh-huh.
So he's trying to get into the carnies VHS stock. So these weren't Stevens nukes. These were Corey Stevens, Chris Warner nukes. So they look good. I have 2 of them that are pretty dark. I wouldn't say real dark, but pretty dark.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the 2 I'll be keeping my eye on out of the 5. But they were packed. That was probably the most packed nuke I've ever seen. Chris put a lot of bees in them. A lot of Florida bees.
Oh, that's right. Chris Warner is Florida. He's Florida and like Michigan, I think.
Yeah. And he runs carnies. Yeah, he ships them back and forth.
Yeah. Like 40,000 or 4,500 colonies. It's a big operation.
Yeah. 4.5.
I don't think he really does any honey in Florida. I think he does all queens in Florida in packages. And then he does his honey in Michigan.
Yeah.
He's got 95 yards in Michigan. At least he did when I went and heard him speak.
Is that how many he has?
Yeah. And somebody asked him, how do you remember where they are? That's a lot of yards. And how do you find them, too? That was the other question somebody had.
Yeah, I could probably have 4 or 5 yards of people just ask me, "Hey, you want to put bees on my place?"
I have.
I just got one that's probably a good spot. I haven't contacted the guy yet, and I got it like 3, 4 days ago.
I have 4 right now, but 2 of them are like quarter mile apart. They're not very far apart at all.
That's too close.
And then this one I just added is only going to be just a few hundred yards away from the one I've got. I was hoping that the property was like adjoined close to where my bees are now, because I was like, I could just pop a hole in the fence and just keep going. But they're not. There's somebody else has
I
property.
try to go 5 miles as a minimum between yards.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't want them competing against each other.
I don't know. I've got one that's 1.5 miles, and I love that distance. That's a good distance.
Well, you can't. Well, you can't move bees back and forth, or they'll go back to their home.
No, I do that. I don't get much flyback at that distance.
Yeah. Well, 1.5 miles is decent. A lot of
Yeah,
bees
I
don't
mean, I
go.
would have liked to have been 2 to 3 miles, but it's really nice to be able to, because before that, I would have to drive them from the farm all the way back to my house and then drive them back again just to move around.
That's
That
too
was
far.
pain. Now I just have to drive 1.5 miles away and then move
Yeah,
back.
my brother's farm's an hour drive, so I don't probably be a week before I get that swarm trap back to make that do it, part 2 test. But he knows when the bees get swarms on them, so I don't get any false calls. I catch 2 or 3 swarms off his place every year.
Yeah. My yard in Crossroads, the new one, it's 25 miles of drive, but it takes about 45 minutes to get there.
Okay.
I'll bet it's only about 18 or 20 as the bee flies, but
Right.
plenty far.
This guy that wants me to put bees, he's got 10 acres, and it's in Indiana. It's probably about a 20-minute drive. 25 minutes. 20, not too bad.
Well, I'd say, that's not too bad, but if you're not getting paid to put them there, then that's a little bit of a drive that's out of your way.
Yeah, it's out of my way. And I'm not getting paid.
So
It'll just be another place where I can put more bees that won't. It's a good spot to get some good honey off of them.
and I need another place. I need a place in Capel that's not in the middle of the neighborhood so I could put some bees, but
Yeah, this
It's
is out in
hard.
the country.
we're so close to Dallas, it's hard to find a good spot that people will let you put bees on.
Right. It's pretty woody. It's mostly woods, actually, is where this guy's place is. So
People
I'll
are,
get all the trees.
people are bugging the heck out of me about honey right now, though. I get 2 or 3 texts a day. People want honey.
Right. Oh, yeah, I know. My competition for honey ran out. So my honey's is already starting to disappear fast off the shelves. Yeah. What time is it? 9:20. I'm going to try to make it to 10.
Did Nancy bail? I'm looking at the.
Yeah, she bailed. So, yeah.
Mark.
Hey, Mark Miller's on. Hey, Mark. Yeah, we got 47 watching, texting, commenting. DC slowed down on his comments. He must have stepped away. 92.7. Okay. Yeah. That temperature, 92.7. He gets to the fractional.
Oh, that was the temperature.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't get that. My controller's not that precise. I can dial. We're at 92.7.
You see that?
Don't say that.
Todd said that swarming has ended. So he set the bar at what, 15, I think. I'm gonna see if I can catch him. I had
Okay.
16 or 17 last year.
I got 26 swarms last year.
Wow.
But this year I'm not, I only want to catch.
Well, yeah, my 16 was ones that I caught in my box. Although this year I've caught 3 that are on the outside of my boxes. I don't know what's going on with those darn bees.
Yeah, I probably caught out of those 26, I probably caught 13 in my boxes and 13 from calls.
Yeah.
Out of trees and bushes and landmarks, cemeteries.
Last year, I probably got. Let's see. They were my own swarms, probably 4 or 5.
I don't count those.
Hanging in trees. But I don't go after other people's really. I did one cutout last year.
I'm trying not to do. I'm going to do one here, and I don't know when. It's not. My friend hasn't gotten back to me yet. Told him I needed pictures of the inside of the house to see if I wanted to cut it out. So he's going to go to his mom's house and take some pictures. Hey, Todd. Todd sometimes gets on.
A cutout is something I definitely wouldn't do for free.
No.
Those things take a whole day sometimes.
Right. That's why I want to get pictures first to see what I'm getting, what I might volunteer for. And Dave will help me. The 2 of us will do the cutout at his mom's house.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I did do one cutout for my neighbor down the road. They were underneath the trailer house. So I just had to lay on my back and cut the insulation and get to them.
Right. I believe this was down in the unfinished basement where he kind of explained it to me.
But after I did that cutout, he was so appreciative. He came down and did some work on my cabin. Got the water fixed, pressure doing better, and tried to fix my air conditioner units. But
that's a win-win.
Yeah. It's like, shoot, yeah, I'll trade that all day long.
Yeah. My second yard I got right now, I think I want to move the bees. Right, only a half mile from where the hives are is a huge valley between 2 rivers. And they do soybeans and corn there. And it seems like the bees do great in the springtime. And then by fall, they're just done. And I think the spraying knocks them down so much.
Well, yeah, they're for sure spraying something on them.
So I want to move those hives. Well, I want to move that, get rid of that yard and maybe go to that new guy's where I don't have that issue. Yeah, Mark, how's your tooth doing? This toothache. Jaw ache.
Yeah, my dentist said that you got, 32 teeth in your mouth, and any one of them can take you down.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that the truth? Feeling better today. No, that's good. I didn't see that post. Russell's, okay. Yeah, luckily, knock on wood, everything's been good for me. No issues. Just my knee. My knee bothers me a little bit. I play on a Monday morning golf league, and I shot one of my best rounds, a good round. I haven't shot in years. Monday, so that was good.
Oh man, you're gonna start telling me all that stuff that you retired guys do.
I've always played golf, so that's one of my hobbies. I've been playing golf since like 18 years old.
I don't know. I used to play I started playing in college, and I probably played for 10 years after that, but I don't play hardly at all. I might do a scramble with friends once a year.
Right.
All
I used
do.
to play in an evening league after work on Tuesdays, and I stopped that and went to Monday mornings.
I never could get below about 90, 95. I could never break 90.
Matt used to play golf before bees.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody does anything after bees.
Well, that's why I play at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm done by 11:30, and then I do bees.
Well,
after.
yeah, if I was retired, I could do something like that.
Yeah. I can't afford. They're both. Hey, Randy, they both are bottomless pits.
I don't know. I think, bees can.
Actually, I don't lose money on bees. I make money.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where I'm making money on them. Well, if you don't pay yourself for time.
Yeah, I don't pay myself.
If you had to pay yourself more than $1 an hour, you wouldn't make money.
Well, they don't need to go to the bank to take money out.
That's right.
I'm kind of living off of some of my living off of it.
Yeah. Although, boy, dang John Hill makes those darn videos, and I can see the money flying out the window. He made that one. I really want that 40-inch uncapping tank. That's a thing's $1,000 now.
Yeah, he's good. He's good at doing that, isn't he?
Yeah. I sent a link to that video to my son with the emoji with the heart-shaped eyes on it. Man, we need it. But the reason I hadn't bought one already is because I just don't have it. They take up a lot of space if you don't have a dedicated honey house.
Yeah, I got one of his 30-inch uncappers.
Like my uncapping tank's a Tupperware, like storage bin, and I can put it on my shelf. But you got one of Hilco's uncappers?
Yeah, I bought it 2 years ago.
You got the 40?
I got the 30-inch.
Okay, the 30. Yeah. Does he sell it? He sells a 24 and is it 30? I think 30 is the one that might be $1,000.
Yeah.
It's the one. It's the one he made the video on. He's made an extra piece where you can stand the frames on end and get about 30% more capacity out of it.
Right.
That's really cool. Cool deal.
Yeah, Randy got the 30. I got the 30-inch. It's plenty big. It works good.
I think that's the one I'm looking at doing. It'll hold over 20 frames, right?
Probably, yeah, around there.
Because my extractor is a 20.
I don't have that many. Yeah. Yeah, 5-gallon bucket with the nail. So
5-gallon bucket. Well, I'll tell you what.
Early this year, though, I probably already got one box of honey in my hives. I went through all my hives the last 2 days doing all these splits. I was surprised how much honey's in them.
My uncapping tank looks a little bit like your swarm traps, Tom. It's a blue bin with a wooden frame built in it to hold the honey frames, and it's got I put a bar across the top with a screw going through it to uncap it too. And I put a honey gate. I put a honey gate down on the end of it, and I mean it works great. It's little. I need 2 of them. If I had 2 of them, they'd keep up with what I have. But right now, I have to if I have a decent honey crop, I have to put all those cappings into 5-gallon buckets, clean it out a couple of times while I'm trying to.
Yeah, that's the best part. There's a tray inside, and all the cappings have its own drain in it. So I just wait a couple days and then let the bees clean out the rest of it.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Although I'm sold on this method I came up with, take those cappings after a couple of days of draining and heat them up on your stove, and you can get more honey out. It's baker's honey. It's been heated, but you could use it for meat or something like that pretty easily. Right. Or caramel.
I just feed it back to the bees. They get every little bit out of that wax.
Oh yeah, they'll make a mess though. If it's down in the tank, it's probably all right. But if you leave them out
Right.
where you can, they'll spray that stuff everywhere.
Well, the uncapper's got wheels, so I just roll it outside. And I take all the cappings out, and then I hose it all down, clean it all up for the next year, for the next run.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm going to try to get some of that black locust honey. It's a really sweet honey. A few bottles of that, and it's off-white color. Really, really cleared off-white.
Yeah, I'm hoping the mesquite blooms this year like it did last, and I hope we don't get washed out for all the early spring stuff. The bees were working there was a bunch of bushes on the tree line, and I pulled over and searched on my phone, and it said it was I think it was called rough leaf dogwood.
Okay.
The leaves look just like your classic dogwood leaf, but the flowers were small white flowers closer to like a privet or something. But the bees were all over it.
We get gray dogwoods. We got the white and pink dogwoods, and gray dogwoods. They like acidic soil. They don't get real big. They probably only get 15 feet tall.
Yeah, they grow in the woods mostly, don't they?
Yeah, edges of woods. Yeah.
Yeah, these were growing almost like bushes on the side of a fence.
And bees hit it. They don't hit the regular dogwoods, but they hit the gray dogwoods. Yeah. My regular dogwoods get big, pretty big too. Not big, but pretty big. Yeah. I have to see if Mike Walker's going to be a no-show again. Probably. He's gone off the face of the earth.
Bob has.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see anything. Nope. Yeah, he doesn't even do those afternoon lives too often anymore, like he used to do all the time. That's what the job gets in the way all the time. That's the problem. Used to get in my way.
Yeah, he did just start a new job, I think.
Yeah. I didn't get to do any videoing of these swarms today. I wanted to, but first one, I could hear the thunder and the storm was coming. Got it done for the rain. Second one, it was getting into the house, so I actually got my bee vac out. Luckily, 5 feet underneath the swarm, 3 feet under the storm, they had an outlet outside their back deck. So I didn't have to get an extended cord or nothing. Set the bee back there, plug it in, and suck them up. I hope I got the queen. There weren't any bees flying in and out of the hole when I was done. And the bees were calm in the bucket. So, yeah, tulip poplar is a big one for our property, Brian. And hi, Brian. But a lot of times they'll get ruined because of the rain. Rain will flush them out. Big pollen sources when there's tulip poplars. That's when I put my pollen traps out on two of my hives when they bloom.
Hey, Brian.
That's been me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get that one. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing today, catching swarms out of the blue. 2 from unknown people, 1 from the police department, 1 from a friend that does cutouts. And I didn't know he did cutouts till today. That he started doing that last year. and then one from my list. So that'll give me 3 hives out of the 9. So I got 6 more to go. So I'm looking for 6 more swarms, hopefully within the next week before the black locust blooms. So I can steal the bees from them. I need bee power. Not horsepower, I need bee power. So,
My biggest drawback this year is I let a bunch of wax moths get into my comb in the middle of last summer.
yeah.
So I'm at a deficit.
You're gonna lose honey because they're gonna have to rebuild all that comb.
I have one hive that's kind of mediocre, and I was wanting to use one of these new queens to requeen it. And I was showing my son, I was like, okay, look at this. There's just a couple of frames in here that are drawn out, and they're full of nectar. But the hive is so mediocre. They've got enough to go collect honey and stick it in a comb, but they don't have enough to make new comb.
Gotcha.
So it's like I could make, if I had all drawn comb, I could probably make a box of honey off those bees. But as it is, they're only going to fill what I give them. They're not going to make anything new.
All right.
So that's kind of the difference, the obvious difference when you have it or you don't.
All right. Well, luckily I had just enough, or actually I'm 1 brood frame short from doing 2 frame splits. I didn't have to get in any of my honey hives that I didn't lose from last year. That are big hives. But my goal was still to have 23 big hives, and I'm only halfway there this year. Seems like every year I'm short. So that's why I'm going to have not 7 big resource hives. I'm going to try to get through winter, and then I'll queen them, and they'll turn into my production hives. So I could use swarms for that. Well, some of the 2 framers will go in that too, but I'll need to help them out.
Good night, Brandon.
It'll take too long. All right, Brian. Have a good evening. Yeah, I'm not staying on too much. I'm going to stay on probably about another 15 more minutes and then grab something to eat. My wife still has to work. She's got 4 more weeks of teaching for this season, for this year. And the end of May.
She's going to retire too, huh?
Well, she's going to work 1 more year. She decided. I'm letting her do it. She was going to retire, but now she said 1 more. And then she'll retire. So she gets up 5:30, 5:45, something like that. So pretty early. So she likes to go to bed pretty early. So that's why I don't like to stay on too late because too much noise. Uncrystallized, 3 of them. Yeah. Russell, when it's crystallized, it takes a while.
$40 hours, wow.
Yeah, if you got a warming cabinet, it'll take a week at 105. It'll work.
Our warming cabinet does good, except for that last little 3/4 to a 1/2 inch. Yeah, I have to take the bottle and make sure the lid's on nice and tight and flip it over a few times so that it has to fall back down in that warm honey. If you continually do that, you'll finally get through it. But it's really stubborn.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how that little bit at the bottom doesn't want to uncrystallize. Yeah. Yeah, so I had a pretty good week. I sold 7 nukes, but I bought 5 nukes, so plus 2 nukes, and everybody wanted my 4 suppliers that sell honey for me all needed honey. So, doing all right.
How much honey did you get last year?
About 800 pounds, something. Not as much as I wanted. I like to get over 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, I didn't get. I got 1,000 after the fall harvest, but I only got, I think, about 800 in the spring.
Yeah, I only got 760, something like that in the spring. We had a drought, so I had a negative honey in the fall because they ate everything they had in their hives.
Yeah, I had, what did I have? I had 70, I think, and then I came back and got another 600 out of Richland, like 670 in Richland, and I think I had about 140 here in Capel.
Yeah.
And then in the fall, I didn't get any in Richland, other than there's a half a bucket in there you can't eat. And then I'm gonna do something with that honey, by the way.
I think this
Taking up
fall,
away.
I got 100 a leach bed. I think I'm going to plant buckwheat on it this year.
I got 200 pounds of fall honey last year here, which was
Okay.
half of what I got the year before.
So I'll get some of that buckwheat honey. Not for me to pull, just to fill the bees up for wintertime. And maybe pull it in the spring, early spring, whatever's left. It's black. So it's easy to tell buckwheat honey. It's black. It's got a unique taste to it too. You either hate it or you love it.
I don't know what. Yes, our fall honey's black like that too. I don't know what. I don't know if it's goldenrod or if it's.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
what's
don't know.
it. I like it though.
So I'm hoping to catch within the next week at least 3 more swarms, just so I can get bees to pop. I want to get up to about 15, 16 good honey producers before the flow kicks in next week, and it'll be close. Then I'll get my 1,000 pounds because I average about 800 a hive.
What?
I mean 800, 80 pounds a hive. So I need about 15 hives at least as a minimum.
I average about 25 or 30 pounds a hive. So.
Yeah. Now my good hives will get up to 100. So I think I got 10 hives right now that should be pushing 90 to 100 pounds.
I think 80 out of one hive is probably the most I've ever gotten.
Well, I try to get my hives big.
Basically, it's like 3 supers and one of them's not really full.
Yeah, 1 deep and 2 medium supers will be close to 100 pounds.
Yeah.
9 frames in all of them.
But I'd be tickled to death if I can get 1,000 pounds at Richland and a couple of 100 pounds here and then a couple 100 more pounds at Crossroads. That'd be 1,400 pounds. That'd be really good.
Yeah, that's my goal every year is 1,000. Then I don't run out of honey, to the next year.
I would still run out, but
I don't like selling the honey that fast because you lose customers that way because they buy somebody else's honey.
yeah, well, most of mine I don't have any competition. There's not that many people around here selling honey.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, the hyper local.
I got 2 good friend beekeepers that produce a lot of honey. But one lost his partner, so he's cutting back in half. Instead of having 150 hives, he's going to have probably about 70 hives.
Yeah, it makes a difference if you have somebody there to help you. I know I went out this morning. I basically told Noah, I said, I'm going to go work the hives for a couple hours. And luckily, within 30 minutes he was out there helping me. So it only took me a couple hours. It would have taken me 3 hours to do it, what I needed
Yeah.
to do.
And I don't have a helper. I do that 1,000 pounds all myself.
Well, I did it all myself in the spring. He did spend all of it out in the fall, and he'll spend a lot of it out of this spring too. I'm hoping we get enough I can use my 20 frame extractor. It's still in the plastic right now. The
There
light.
you go. Hopefully. Hey, Sean. Quick hi. All right. Hi and bye. Hope everything's good.
So I got one of my swarms that I moved into a regular trap. One of the frames had slipped down about 3 or 4 inches, so they built honeycomb in that space right above it, and I just peeled it off and took a bite of it. Oh my gosh, that was so good! It was already they were starting to cap it, but it was like some I got a few years ago. That early spring honey out there is super wet. They'll cap it, and all these people say when it's capping, it's less than 18% or whatever. That's BS. This stuff, when I bit into it, it like shot out in your mouth like I don't know what some of that candy you buy that squirts in your mouth. It was really runny. It was really good, but it would have been at least 19-20% if I had tried to extract it.
It looks like Todd had a virgin, but not anymore. Now, let's see how many mated queens I get out of my 20/21. If I get 21 tonight or tomorrow. I'm thinking this time of year I usually get about 90%. So I'll probably get about 17, somewhere in that ballpark, 18. But when I do my summer graft, it gets down to about 60%. Just too many predators out there.
Yeah, I like your system. I don't think I could get away with it here.
Yeah.
There's just too many dragonflies.
Mine is probably more birds. Too many birds eat them. All those baby birds that aren't babies anymore are hungry. In fact, I think I know where a drone area is because every summer the bees go to the top of my trees at the other side of the property, and I can see them fly up, fly back, fly up, fly back. And it's like, yeah, they're eating my bees. They're eating my drones and queens.
So let me ask you this question: that when I was moving those swarms over, there's only 4 frames in the tops of those swarm traps. Okay, 4 deep frames. I got to the edge frame, and it was the bait frame. And when I pulled it out, one side of that frame was completely covered, wall to wall, with nothing but drones. They were all on the outside. Don't know what they were doing, maybe eating honey or whatever. But it almost looked like it was infested with drones. And it's like, okay, they haven't made any drone cells. Swarms don't make drone cells for a while. There was no drone brood anywhere, but there's a full half frame of drones.
So there wasn't any worker brood, just drones.
No, it was drones walking on the frame, like thousands of them on one side, on the side against the wall of the swarm trap.
Yeah, honey frame.
Yeah, so they either swarmed with those bees or they flew in there after they'd already swarmed. I don't know.
Well, I have my own little theory about drones, and I've had a few people agree, but most people don't know. But if you got a really, really good hive, they will attract a good population of your yard's drones. drones, they got a lot of food in them. Those drones will go to those hives. And they're overwinter in those hives.
Yeah, it wasn't the biggest, it wasn't one of the bigger swarms. It was like second smallest, I think.
Oh,
But yeah, I pulled it out. I've got a video. I need to edit. It's a long one because I transferred 6 caught swarms in it, but
yeah.
I need to try to edit it down. But in that video, I show it on the camera. It's like, look at all these drones. Where did they come from? Because they weren't born there for sure.
You know, that's funny you mentioned that, Philip. I've caught so many swarms in my life. Some will have a ton. A lot of them won't have any. Some of them are average.
Yeah.
I have no clue. The first one I had today, it was a big swarm. You know, like I said, 7 frames, 8 frames. And I don't think I saw a drone. The second one here that was only 3 or 4 frames that I vacuumed, I probably had a dozen drones I vacuumed up. And this last one, I don't know. It was storming. How many were in it? But yeah, it varies so much how many drones are in them.
Yeah, it shocked me when I mean, I'm used to seeing that when they're getting ready to swarm. You're used to seeing a lot of drones in there.
Yeah.
But this one had swarmed a couple of weeks before. And the drones
I've
just,
got a
I'm
few
assuming they went with them.
that had a lot of drones in the swarm. So it varies. This last one I got my brother's farm, it was a huge swarm. Like I said, 8 or 9 pounds of bees, 12 frames of bees. It was a big box. It was big. I have 9 frames in those totes, and every frame was full of bees. And inside, every side was full of bees. When I opened it up, there was bees on the lid. In fact, they were putting comb. They were only in there for 3 days, and they were putting comb on the lid, between the lid and the frames. So it's like, wow, these bees are packed.
I see Sean came into the chat, and I also see that Carl came into the chat.
Oh yeah, hey Carl. I know Sean did. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I don't know what we're up to. I have to look. Yeah, we got 43 watching, so we got some new ones and we lost some.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty typical. Usually by the 10 o'clock they start 9:30, 10, they start fading.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I can't answer why some swarms have drones and a lot of them and some don't.
Yeah.
I've never asked anybody that question either. It's a good question.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I've ever seen that many drones in a swarm, for sure.
I've probably seen the average that you'd have in a hive, in a swarm, or maybe even a little bit higher than average.
Oh, I've seen that many in my hive. I've seen more than that in the hives, especially when they're getting ready to make swarm cells.
Yeah.
But I've never seen any. I didn't know that. I know some drones swarm with the hive, but it seems to me like they wouldn't really want them there.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. But drones do swarm with the hive. I guess they get excited too. Don't know what the deal is. I guess, well, it kind of makes sense. The hive wants to survive, so summertime and springtime, they might need them. They might lose. I don't know. If they lose their queen for some reason after she's in there for a few days, I don't know what the theory is on them of drones swarming. But they do. Not always. I've had some swarms that didn't have any drones in them. So there's no rhyme or reason that I know of. None. Being an engineer, I try to make everything logical, but there's none on that one. Yeah, I think I'm going to be getting off here in a few more minutes. So, thanks, Philip, for
No
hopping
problem. I enjoyed it.
on. Yeah.
I'll
So,
finally get in there and get my dishes washed.
and I'm going to grab and get something to eat.
Yeah, I bet you're hungry.
I'm a little bit. Hey, Kimberly. She made it on.
Hey, Kimberly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. When I was a kid, I used to go for 2 or 3 days and not eat. So I'm kind of crazy about that. Yeah, I'm retired. I'm enjoying it too. More than I thought I would. So to anybody who can afford to retire, retire. Because it's nice having your own schedule. Well, kind of. But at least I volunteer the schedule. I mean, I can always take myself off the list.
Good night, Keith.
Yeah, good night. Hope is on. I see that now. I didn't think I saw Hope before. Yeah, well, I'm shutting it down in 4 minutes.
Yeah, we have hope.
10 o'clock is it. And we're down to 37 now, so people are dropping out. I'm at 116 minutes, so I'll go 120 minutes. 2 hours. That's good enough.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got to come up with a subject for next week.
Let's think
This
about
one was
that.
my experiment with the entrances. So, yeah, you know, my 21 honey hives now are all the warm way. I switched them all them over.
Yeah,
All my other
you did
hives
that.
are the cold way.
Yeah,
So,
you told me you were doing that.
yeah, I wasn't going to do it to all. You know, I was just going to do like 8 of them.
Did you just modify your bottom boards?
Yeah, I put a 3/8 the strip on the side, and then I cut an opening on the long side.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just modified all. I use solid bottom boards, and I flip them upside down so they're 3/8.
Right.
I just put 3/8 strips across the open side, and then I cut 2-inch opening on the long side, the 20-inch. And I'm gonna give them a 2-inch opening. I've seen enough cutouts and trees that they don't even use 2 inches. Most of, in fact, the swarm that was going in the house was only 3/8 of an inch to 1/2 an inch by only maybe a 1/4 inch wide that they were going into. In fact, it took me a while to find it. It was just a little caulking missing on the boards. So I'll know tomorrow that if I got the queen, I'll check that nuke. They're in it, like I said, an easy jester nuke. Probably 3 to 4 frames of bees I dumped in there from the bee vac. You know.
Yeah, I bought 20 of those. Well, they're not jesters, but they're knockoff jesters. So,
Yeah, that company,
yeah, I forget what they're called.
I like them better.
Yeah, I like them. But thing is, I think I'm going to end up not using them until maybe next year.
Yeah, they don't go bad.
Yeah.
I bought a whole pallet of them 5
I've got-
years, and I still have probably 30 left, 40 left.
I've got a system where I can use cardboard boxes and modify them for my nukes. They're just throwaway transport boxes. And I don't charge anything for those, but on these Jester nukes, I'm gonna charge you with $20. They want those.
When I sell my nukes, it's in my cost. My price is built into for the cost of those just
Yeah,
nukes.
most people do.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't make any money if I don't. But I bought them. I got them for $10 a piece when I bought the whole pallet of them. 144 of them. Is it something like that?
I think
forget.
I got them. I think I got them for 10 a piece, but I only bought 20. I bought one of those bundles.
And free shipping. So I couldn't beat that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I checked those ones out at Nabby this year, and they were a little bit tighter tolerances. I think I liked them a little bit better. So when I went out, I'll be seeking those. I'm not a big fan of the Pro Nukes. They're good for transporting bees, but if you want to keep those bees in that hive for a little bit, they're not very good for that.
Yeah.
With the Justin Nukes, you can keep them in there for a couple weeks, and you won't have any comb anywhere. It'll be all clean. Maybe a little bit on the lid. That's the only space where they can put it. It's on the lid. All right, everybody. I'm hopping off. Everybody have a good night.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody. Get my camera right. Thanks, Philip. Have a good day.
No
Rest of the week.
You too.
Night.
Good night.